Welcome back to McKibbin Hollow. My name is Sarah, and today I want to take you through my raised bed garden as we pick out a bunch of herbs that we're going to use for some of my weekly salad prep. Before we get to the herbs, I want to show you a little bit of my garden setup here at McKibbin Hollow. So this is my back bed that I typically plant my garlic, and then once I harvest my garlic, I plant my tomatoes in. The raised bed garden you're looking at now, this is my main vegetable garden, that it's got the arched trellises, thanks to Roots and Refuge, and Jess over there for her inspiration for that. This is the main long bed that I have here with a bunch of squashes currently. I planted those late in the season, so I'm looking for an early fall harvest for all of the big pumpkins and squashes that I have there. On the arched trellises, I also have a lot more squashes, and as you can see here, I have a boatload of my first round of cucumbers that are on the arched trellises here. This is our well house, so this little work area for me houses my bee equipment as well as our well. And this is my favorite little spot in the garden right now. It's the cucumber trellis, and it's just so delightful in the morning to sit in. So earlier this spring, I decided to come out here and cut some herbs for my weekly salads. So we're going to start with my parsley, which, as you can see here, is going to seed. This is little seed pods. I like to let my herbs and things and my plants go to seed for the bees, and then also I get to have an additional harvest from that. So here's my parsley. I love having fresh parsley. I like to see if I can grow it year-round because it's just so delightful to have. There's some garlic from early this spring. And here is my chive plant. This plant has been going for about 3 or 4 years now. It's super healthy. It comes back every year and overwinters wonderful. So I've got our bundle of chives, and now we're gonna go check out some green onions, I think. So we're gonna walk to, you can see this was early in the spring because my garlic, this is the elephant garlic here in the back, is still in the ground. So here I have a little patch of green onions, and I actually got these onions from Aldi, the green onion pack in Aldi, and then I just stuck them in the ground late in the fall, and they just provide green onions all the time, which is one of my best garden hacks. So I'm gonna head over here. I picked some kale. Now we've got everything that we need to make our weekly salads. So I've got to take a moment and talk about this here squash, which we're going to use for our salad, and I like to roast this squash, and this was from my 2023 summer garden, and this was the first time I've grown these squashes. They did absolutely gorgeous. Actually went back and pulled some photos of them growing over the garden season. These winter squashes were so prolific over the course of the last growing season that I put them in the ground again this growing season. You can see the leaves are huge. They're kind of taking over. I probably harvested at the end of the season at least 15 of these squashes, and they've lasted and kept all over the winter. I'm still actually eating on them now as it's July 2024. So these were absolutely gorgeous, really good dense squash fruit. It has like a really delicious orangey flesh, kind of like a sweeter butternut, but it produces a really not enormous, but a really large squash. They get this tan color right when they're about ready to harvest. So this is right before I pulled all the vines. As you can tell, the greenery has died down and things have dried out, and the skins have cured in the sun. So this was harvest day for these beautiful squashes. They're Sucrine Dewberry, and I got them from Baker's Creek Seeds. My favorite thing about this squash is that it roasts up beautifully. So again, this was early in the spring, so this was probably, about 6 months after harvest that we're eating this one here, and I just keep them at room temp, and I scrape out all the seeds, and I give it a good brush of olive oil and salt and pepper, and it just did wonderfully. And it's perfect for my weekly salads. So now we're going to harvest a little bit of our garlic. As you can see here, well, this is a little onion, but we have some of these garlic cloves from my last year's harvest. This is elephant garlic, and I like to roast this on the pan with the veggies as they go in for the salad so it gets nice and mellow. And so I have a clove here that I set aside outside of the rest of the ones for the salad, and I'm going to put that on this cutting board here so that I can chop it up and put it in a homemade salad dressing. One of my favorite things to do for my weekly salads is to make a homemade dressing. It's super simple, super easy. All you need is some good olive oil. I actually have some flavored olive oil here. It's like a lime flavored olive oil, and then I use a vinegar as well as some Dijon mustard, and I shake it all up and add salt and pepper to taste. One of the things I love about growing in Middle Tennessee is that our growing season is so long and typically a little bit milder, so I'm able to grow a lot of fresh greens over the winter, like these collard greens and kale. And I also love having, like I said before, the parsley and the herbs all chopped up, and those serve as the basis for my weekly salad. So for this week's meal prep, I did 2 salads. This one here has the veggies that we pulled from the garden, so the herbs. So you have some roast chicken here as well as some feta cheese. And I'm going to add that with a little bit of these roasted Brussels sprouts, some onions, and I like to roast my Brussels sprouts with bacon right on top so that I can add all of that together in a salad I just keep in the fridge and pull to eat on throughout the week. It's just easy for my family to be able to enjoy that. I ended up adding that beautiful squash that we had from our last year's garden into this salad as well. And this was the second salad. This was a bean salad with some of the herbs that we used, as well as peppers and some garbanzo beans that really provided a cold, nice salad for the week. And then I wanted to show you just a little highlight from the garden is this baby bunny. We have a lot of wild rabbits in our property, and so they like to leave their nests in my garden. And so we always have like these little guys running around, and so my family just gets a little kick out of having these little baby bunnies just hopping in the patio and in the garden. They're pretty darn cute. Thank you so much for joining me as we meal prepped with some of our fresh herbs and vegetables from our garden here at McKibben Hollow. Until next time.